Warning, this video may contain graphic content such as sexual scenes, violence, gore, boobies, and the rest of the fun stuff. Unfortunately, YouTube won't allow that, so we'll try what we can. Please be over 18 to view this video, and don't say we didn't warn you.
Endlessly searching for an original sin.
Hey guys, welcome back to more Song of Seiya. I have been really enjoying this series, and I hope you have as well. Do not delete. Load. And then there was darkness. I don't know what's going on. Now I am playing the classic version, not the remaster. So I will someday look at the remaster and see what the difference is. I am very curious myself about that. Game? Do you wanna work for me, game? There we go. What happened to me? Yosuke's awareness slowly returns, as though rising from a bog. He is cold, not hot. No, hot. Something itches, like tepid tongues and cold slugs crawling over his skin. What the hell's going on? Timidly, he opens his eyes. It's everywhere. The thing that attacked him in the living room, it's everywhere. Terror shatters Yosuke's sanity. He throws off the thing lying atop him, but his wild flailing sends him crashing to the floor. But is it really the floor? The long wriggling fibers of what should be the carpet are winding themselves around his fingers. The floor is made of worms. He tears his limbs free of the worms and tries to stand, but loses balance and tumbles to the floor again. The worms immediately swarm over his body. Where am I? Where am I? Where did this thing take me? Yosuke crawls across the worm-ridden floor toward the only exit from the pulsating room. When he gets outside, however, all he can see is blood, bile, and rotten meat. There is no place to run. Most terrifyingly of all, this hellish place has the same layout as Yosuke's house. In a half-mad daze, he wanders through the nightmarish mockery of his home. In the small room where his studio should be, he finds an easel made of bones displaying a blood-soaked canvas. Like some cruel joke, everything is exactly where it would be in Yosuke's studio. Howling, Yosuke lashes out against everything within reach. The easel of bone shatters, driving splinters into his fist. He feels the pain, but does not wake from the nightmare. If this isn't a dream, then what is it? When his strength gives out, Yosuke falls to his knees, sobbing. For the first time in his life, he prays. The sound of the door opening and closing grates in his ears. Downstairs, the front door. Is someone else here? Yosuke trembles at the blood-curdling sound. It's that thing again. The monster has returned. Yosuke hears the sound of something slimy sloshing its way up the stairs. Even as he cowers in terror, he slides his trembling hand across the floor and grabs one of the bones from the broken easel. The tip of the bone is nice and sharp. If he holds it in both hands and puts his weight behind it, he might be able to use it to defend himself. The monster growls are getting closer. Holding his breath, Yosuke presses his back against the wall next to the door. The pounding of his heart is like thunder in his ears, so loud that he fears the creature might hear it. He knows it will eat him if he finds him again, but it's all he can do to keep from crying. At last, the door creaks open. Yusuke leaps on the creature as it enters, fear turning his roar into a high-pitched scream. The flesh beast is covered in sludge and vile juices, but before horror can paralyze him, Yusuke brings his bone stake stabbing down. The monster screams as the stake pierces his chest and punches through the other side. It falls back, withering in agony. The sight of its pain sets Yosuke's blood on fire. I can win! I can kill it! If I finish it off before it enters my head again, I'm safe! Yusuke grabs the bone and twists it with all his might. The monster converses and gurgles. It trembles, its trembling tentacles reaching up as though begging for help. Yosuke knocks it to the floor, then brings his heel crushing down onto its flopping body again and again. With each stomp, it groans and spasms grow weaker. When the monster at last stops twitching, Yosuke's panting hard, tears the stake from its corpse, and rises to his feet. Something squeals. Yosuke turns around to see another, smaller monster peeking out at him from the stair landing. There's still one left. His desperate rage-filled attack both exhilarated him and gave him a taste for violence. This one will be easier. It's smaller and weaker. Grinning maniacally, Yosuke raises his stake and moves toward the second creature. The monster flees, screaming down the stairs. Not about to let his prey escape, Yosuke roars and gives chase. The thought that killing the monsters might end this nightmare feeds his savage bloodlust. When the monster trips and falls in the dining room, Yusuke leaps on top of it and brings the stake crashing down. His bloodlust unsated, he pulls it free, then dives it again into the monster's flesh. Once, twice, 3 times and more, until there is nothing left but shredded pulverized meat. Eventually, the only sound in the house is Yusuke's heavy breathing. He has slain 2 monsters, but the nightmare shows no sign of ending. Yosuke staggers to the front door and goes outside. The sky, the city, everything has gone mad. Twisted shapes, nauseating colors, stinking air. There is no escape, no end to the nightmare. The last remnants of Yosuke's sanity vanishes like dust in the wind.
こんにちは、おじさん。
Yosuke turns to the sound of a girl's voice. She is standing in front of the house next door, wearing a spotless one-piece over her pure white skin. In the midst of this filth-ridden world, she alone glows with beauty.
おじさんには私がどう見える？
ああ、とっても可愛いよ。
Yosuke feels a sudden black lust rise within him.
本当？じゃあ実験は成功かも。
Yosuke walks up to the strangely jubilant girl and brushes his hand against her long, smooth hair.
こんな可愛らしい女の子はこの世界には君一人しかいないんだろうね。
おじさん？
She looks up at the man towering over her, perhaps disturbed by his hungry
お
stare.
嬢ちゃん、おじさんと遊んでくれるかい？
No means no.
いいけど、何するの？
A grin parts Yosuke's lips and he
そ
replies,
りゃあもうおじさんが楽しめそうなこと全部さ。
With that, he grabs the girl's collar and tears the front of her dress wide open. Shock and fear twist the lovely girl's delicate features, stimulating Yosuke's sadism. Even after killing those two monsters, the embers of violence still smolder in his heart. And now they have new fuel to burn.
いい顔だよお嬢ちゃん。おじさんにもっと可愛らしい顔をして見せてくれないかい？
The terrified girl flees into the Sakisaka house. Yosuke runs after her, feeling the joy of the hunt.
いや、来ないで
Even in desperation, she has no hope of outrunning his longer stride. Yosuke charges down the hallway and catches up to her in the kitchen. He grabs her from behind and wrestles her to the floor before she can resist. I could not show any of that on YouTube. As always, the sights of the city grate on my nerves. Today, however, I don't feel as much hatred as I usually do. I have grown more accustomed to my conditions, but that is not the reason for today's high spirits. My search for the Ogai house has finally borne fruit. When I pulled all the drawers out of the desk in the study, I found an envelope stuck between the desk and the wall. It must have fallen off the back of the writing tray. Inside were 3 outdoor photographs. I couldn't recognize the scenery due to my condition, but I'm pretty sure that they show 3 buildings. Scrawled on the back of each photo was an address: Nagano Prefecture, M Village; Tochiji Prefecture, S Town; Shizukai Prefecture, H Town. None of the names is familiar, so they must be a way out into the countryside. The photos are all dated more than 10 years ago. I don't know why they were taken or what they mean, but maybe Saya will be able to make some sense of them. In any case, this is something that even Saya missed while she was living in that house. I wonder how she'll react when I show her what I found. Saya, I want so badly to see her. The thought of her waiting for me speeds my footsteps. Someone gonna get stabbed? When I step through the gate, I see that the front door is wide open again. This is the second time this has happened. Upon entering the house this time, however, the sound of Saya crying chills my blood. And not just her, I also hear a low, wet grunting. There's no time to take off my shoes. I race down the hallway, propelled by a terrifying premonition. The monster stops gorging itself on Saya's body and turns its head to look at me. Surprised by my own composure, I slip past it and grab the meat cleaver sitting next to the sink. Without a moment's hesitation, I slash at the monster's face. It screams and staggers away from Saya. My attack must have blinded it, because it flails its tentacles wildly as it tries to drive me away. My bloodlust still unsated, I calmly seize one of the appendages and plunge my weapon twice more into its quivering flesh. The blade enters its body with fascinating ease. Each strike sprays my face with its blood. As I carve the monster to pieces and savor its hideous screams, my mind is finally consumed by rage. No mercy. I'll see this monster suffer for what it's done to Saya. I give myself to the fury, howling at the top of my lungs as I slash and slash and slash and slash. Even after the flesh beast stops moving, I keep slashing until I realize that it can no longer feel pain. Cursing myself for killing it so quickly, I stab the cleaver into the floor, snapping it in half. We'll find out what happens next time, guys. I know I'm so evil. See you guys then. Bye.